Check, check. 1, 2, check, 1, 2.
Yeah, it'll be tailgate lot, so that's gonna be it'll be sold on a season basis.
Let me know.
Lots are gonna be reserved, 20 by 20 spaces
That's good.
for the whole season.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Okay. Go ahead and mute it. We're good? All right. There you go. All right, guys. I'm not even going to talk about what episode this is because I forgot. I think it's been a while, Ben, that we've done this. We went on a pretty long hiatus after last, spring?
Right. I think we're in episode 73.
73, yeah. I wasn't part of 70, all those, but either way, man. So we're definitely going to get this started again. And I talked to Ben. It's a pretty I didn't realize how hard this was and how time consuming it was and how much planning it took. And then along with, of course, with, having to do our own regular daily things, it's kind of tough. So we took a little bit of a break in the summer. I think now school, started and sports, kicked off a long time ago. I think we're ready to go, man. So our big topic today is going to be tailgating. I know, people are fired up with football coming in 25. I know last year we tailgated quite a bit with baseball. I know Ben and I have been talking about doing something with, volleyball, maybe even basketball. I think basketball we did last year at the arena. So, again, we just kind of want to talk about it, talk about the do's and don'ts, talk about what tailgating actually is, man. I know I've only been to one actual tailgate in with the NFL, and it's not going – to the tailgate and see what people have, to give and stuff. It's a big participation part, and actually it's a big bragging thing, man. Like you take your big old rigs out there in regards to, barbecue stuff and, go out and barbecue. So that's going to be the main topic. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and have our guests introduce themselves, especially Derek. I don't want to chop your last name up. But again, I'm going to introduce these guys and give you a little bit of who they are. Derek obviously is the associate director. I know it's a long name, Derek, so give it to us.
Fancy title, yeah.
There you go. What you got, man?
Derek Schramm, Senior Associate AD of Advancement in Administration. First off, thank you for having me. And thank you for the support that you guys continue to give us. You've been with us since day one, so thank you so much. My background, I've been here in the Valley at UTRGV for about 13 months now. Enjoyed every second of it. Originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I went to school at University of Nebraska. That's where I really got my start working in college athletics. Doing some marketing, promotions, ticketing. And that's when I really, solidified my desire to work in sports, to work in college athletics. Got that opportunity going back home, working for the University of Minnesota, selling tickets. Fortunate enough to find some success there. Got promoted. Had an opportunity to go to the University of Kansas.
Oh, nice.
Selling tickets and raising donations for the Jayhawks, which was really cool. Allen Fieldhouse. One of the premier basketball venues in college basketball. Really cool experience for me.
How long were you there?
I was there for 2 years. So I was at Minnesota for 2 years, Kansas for 2 years. You may think, well, Kansas basketball, it doesn't sound like a hard sell or difficult to sell tickets for that, but we weren't there to sell tickets for basketball at all. They had us there to sell tickets for football. And in those 2 years, they want to combine 2 football games.
Oh, wow.
So that was a bit of a challenge, but again, I was fortunate enough to find some success. That propelled me into my first management or leadership position within ticketing. I went to Miami University in Ohio as manager of ticket sales, was there for 2 years, had back-to-back record highs for our company there.
Awesome.
And then decided to change it up. I've been around the Midwest my whole life, and decided to take an opportunity at Lamar University. It was going to be a brand new property for the company that I worked for, the Aspire Group. It's a third-party company that universities hired to sell tickets. So I was able to build that property from scratch. I was there for 4 years, worked my way up to associate AD of, I think, external affairs and revenue generation was my title, and that's kind of how I found my way here.
I'm trying to do the math as you go along, and I think you should be about 55 years old.
I think that's about it. Yeah.
Is my math right?
Like it, yeah.
You age really well.
I was about to say that. I want to be 55 then.
That's awesome.
Now, being obviously here, and obviously there was a lot of faculty change, or not change, but maybe additions with the addition of football. Is that the main focus? I know you said like with Kansas, football was the main thing. Is that the main focus here, or is it just in general UTRGV?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of reasons that this position and this university and community kind of drew me into it, and number one, it's our leadership, Chase Conk. Early on, from my initial conversations and throughout the interview process, I knew he was someone I wanted to work for, someone that would help me grow professionally and 100% believed in his vision and that, he and this university was going to be successful. And hearing the story of what had transpired before my arrival here and hearing about the leadership at the institution from the top, President Bailey and the rest of the executive staff, it's a university that's completely aligned and, as you guys know, just growing rapidly.
Yep.
Which is really special to see. And then, of course, football was a big draw, too. As someone who loves football, loves college football, having the opportunity to help launch a Division I football program was definitely something that drew me in for sure.
Awesome.
Not a hard sell. I mean,
no, the community support has been outstanding. As you see, selling out season ticket deposits a month ago is pretty special and something we don't take for granted.
I mean, how do you like the community in general? Like the I guess you said 13 months you've been here?
13 months, yeah.
So like, what are your first impressions or impressions of the Valley and
first week?
Yeah.
Let's go over the first week here.
Well, I'll even go back to my interview.
Was it here? Did it take place
Yeah,
here?
I actually had an on-campus interview. And I came in, I'd never been to the Valley, never really even been, this close to the border to Mexico. So I'm like, I really have no idea, like, what it's going to be like down here. Like, so I tried not to have any preconceived notions, but then flew in and saw the palm trees and how nice everything was and the hustle and bustle, and got to campus, and it's beautiful, gorgeous campus. I was like, wow, this place is a hidden gem.
Yeah.
It's special. And fast forward to my first week. I think I knew I was going to put on some weight pretty fast.
Yeah, that's a given.
So I got that Valley 15 right away.
There it is.
So it's been great.
Good.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's pretty cool, man. Again, and I know you're busy, and I know you're in charge of a lot of these different things, and I really appreciate you coming in and just taking a few minutes, man. Like, again, I know you guys are doing a lot, even though, you're not directly involved with these sports and stuff like that, but like, we've gone to your office, and it's like, yeah, you're a pretty busy guy, and I mean, again, it means a bunch for you to come out here, man. I appreciate that.
I'm happy to do it.
Let's kind of move to Marco now. I know Marco has a different story. I know this might take a little longer in regards to how it started, man. And I remember you, Marco, and it's funny, man, because I never thought it'd come back to this. I remember you during the COVID time and the videos and the TikToks and all that stuff, man, and it was nuts, to kind of see it, and it wasn't, it was entertaining, and I never thought, like, man, this guy's going to come and go from PSJ Memorial to where you are now, man. And it's crazy how those opportunities are, but I gave a little bit away, but Marco, kind of take it away, man.
Yeah, it all went full circle. So my name is Marco Regalado, and I'm the running backs coach for the UTRGV football team, originally from Zapata, Texas, so a couple hours down the road. I got my coaching start as a graduate assistant at Texas A&M Kingsville, did that for a couple years, and when I graduated, kind of had the choice to stay or, take a job at a local high school there. I come from a family of educators. My mom taught for 37 years, recently retired. My grandfather was a teacher and administrator. So at that juncture, I really wanted to pursue education. Still coach, but I wanted to be a high school teacher. So I took a job at Santa Gertrudis Academy High School. Was there for a couple years as a PE teacher. I know it's PE. I was a teacher. I did lesson plans and stuff.
Let's teacher afterwards, man.
But PE teacher for 2 years and coached, and then moved on to Mathis High School there in the Coastal Bend. And then after that came down to PSJ Memorial for a year. It's kind of a weird, crazy year with the pandemic and everything, which is kind of what led to being locked in a one-bedroom apartment and not really having a whole lot of social contact. You go crazy and download the TikTok app and then make some funny videos, and the right people retweet it, and then everybody knows your name overnight. It was pretty crazy. But just kind of use that a little bit to springboard to a high school job out in Fort Worth. I'd been in South Texas my whole life. I undergrad at Texas State, grad school, Kingsville, and then all my years coaching. About 4 or 5 years were we're all in South Texas, and I kind of wanted to experience something different. So when I went out to Fort Worth, VR Eden High School, and man, it was an amazing experience. It was going from basically all these small schools, and even, you know, PSG Memorial being the 5A school, I think maybe had like 1,500 kids. You go to a 6A school in the Fort Worth area, there's 3,500 kids. And it's crazy. It's like you're on a college campus, but it's a high school. I taught special education there. You know, we had one of the best football seasons there in school history, had a lot of fun. Then I had a really cool opportunity. You know, somebody reached out and said, hey, we saw this job posting at Washington State University. And I had kind of thought of, like, I wanted to get back into college. And I thought, why not? Let me shoot my shot. You know, I looked through the staff page, see if I recognized any names. And there was a name I recognized. And now kind of going back to, like, my time at Kingsville when I was a GA, I GA'd under a guy named Ronnie Palmer. Before he went to Kingsville, he was at Colorado State. And he GA'd under a guy named Ricky Longo. Ricky Longo was now the D-line coach at Washington State. So kind of through that network, you know, me being this volunteer GA, like whatever, ended up creating that relationship and that network piece that got me to Washington State as a recruiting assistant. So kind of just packed up my things, whatever fit in my vehicle, drove 2,000 miles to Pullman, Washington. I was there almost 2 years. You know, I got there as a recruiting assistant. 6 months later, director of on-campus recruiting. 6 months after that, director of recruiting. And then, you know, had the opportunity. I got a phone call from Mike Bloomgren at Rice, and he asked if I wanted to come home. And at the time, I was really missing Whataburger. So
it'll do it.
I thought it was a great opportunity. Not only that, it's kind of to be in charge of my own department. I was going to be the director of player personnel and oversee all recruiting for the football team. Okay. Especially at a cool place like Rice. It's unique. It's like the Ivy League of the South. You know, it's you have a very distinct kind of recruit that you can look for there. And I saw that as a challenge. Some people saw that as a, man, you want to take that job? It's like, I think it's fun. It's a challenge. There's those, you know, there is talented kids that meet the academic requirements. You just got to find them, and we've got to convince them to come here. So I got to Rice in 2022. I was there for 2 seasons. Both seasons qualified for bowl games. We hadn't qualified for a bowl game there since like 2014. So that was a pretty big task, you know, that we accomplished, and had, you know, one of the best recruiting, the best at the time, the best recruiting class in school history. So I had a lot of fun. But then, you know, you start hearing the rumblings of college football in the Valley, and you get excited being, you know, I've been all over the place, and my area code is still 956 because I'm very proud of this place. And then they make an amazing hire in Coach Bush, a guy that I've known probably 6 years prior to that. You know, I almost worked for him at Seguin High School. I just didn't have the right teacher certificate, but stayed in touch with him. And when I made the jump to college football, he's a guy who I would, you know, reach out to when I needed guidance, or because he'd done it before. Right. So kind of had some talks with him, and, you know, he said just trying to trust the timing of how everything's going to pan out, but that we could possibly work something out. And then in between that time, was able to do the internship with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, finish out my season at Rice. And like I said, I've been here since November 28th was my first day. And it was crazy. My first day was also the groundbreaking for the Vaquero Performance Center.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Very
cool
cool.
deal,
Yeah, that's a
man.
good story. Hell,
Heck yeah. I mean, and again, you know, going back to that, you know, did they reach out, like, you know, with I know you said the TikTok kind of, you know, did they reach out to you because of that? Did they reach out to you because, like, in other words, how did that help you?
Yeah,
kind of?
I mean, that was always a thing. You know, there's always there's a saying that I like. It's not who you know, and it's not most of the time what you know. It's about who knows you. And I think at that point, I became a familiar name. So what it did was get my foot in doors that they normally I wasn't able to get into. So it kind of got me those interviews, but then at that point, like, again, that's something I kind of been fighting my whole, you made some funny videos, now you get this Power 5 job. It's like, no, it's not an interview. And then you don't get 2 promotions after that just by making funny videos. So
Yeah, for
kinda,
sure.
Always kind of constantly improving, you know. Like I said, it was, I don't even know how long I did the videos. It was a fun time.
But you said it perfectly, man. And you're right. I mean, it's just getting people to know your name and kind of giving you that opportunity because, oh, I recognize you, or I recognize your name, and I'll give you an opportunity to talk and kind of show who you really are. you know, and that's awesome, bro. And again, it comes from, to me, like I talk to people about you, not because of, you know, how it was done, but because of the fact that, you know, a lot of people think, especially even with the players, like, oh, you know, they're from the Valley, so they're going to get a bunch of Valley players. And in this particular instance, yeah, you're a Valley guy, but it's not because you're a Valley guy. You know, you did other things out there. Same thing with Bush. Like, oh, they just got him because he's from the Valley. Go, wait a minute, guys. Look at the credentials, man. Don't just look at the fact where he came from and who, you know, look at the credentials. And again, you look at the credentials of all the coaches that he's hired and the coaches, you know, Conk has hired, and it's the credentials are there. You know, and it just, I think for us, it's just, for me at least, it's the cool stuff of like, yeah, he is a Valley boy, you know, so, and he got that opportunity. So that's really, really cool, man. Congrats on all that, bud.
I appreciate it. You said it best. It's vertically aligned from Chase Conk all the way, you know, to Coach Bush. Everybody's on the same mission, same plan. Like, it's really awesome working here. You know, we have our all staff meetings, and it's really good to see everybody from the administration side of things, the other sports. Like, we really do have a really nice, tight-knit special family with the Vaquero family.
And that's been since, I mean, for years and years now. I want to say 3 years, maybe 4 years, to where even baseball, for instance, you see Coach Matlock down at Whataburger, and he's going to go and shake your hand and give you a hug. You see the Coach Lane, Coach Lord, same thing, you know, and you guys are approachable. And that's the difference, you know. Same thing with staff, you know, the admin, you know. People say, "Oh, that's the AD." Well, go up to him, say hi, you know. I mean, but again, the culture is the same. I mean, throughout, you know, from top to bottom. You run into President Bailey, go up to him, say hi, you know. Same thing, you know. But again, it's just the culture that has been built, and you know, from the top to bottom, you know. So,
and it's awesome.
Kudos to the administration.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear, you know, because again, you know, it's, you always have to have those. You know, I'm one of those that's a pessimist, optimist, kind of in the middle type of guy. Like, man, is this going to work? It's not going to work, you know. But I think you get more confidence that this is going to work when every person that we've brought in here that's involved with the university says the same thing. You know, and it's not just a facade. It's not just an act. You know, when they're talking to the public, it seems like the real deal. You know, again, starting from Dr. Bailey to Chase and to Bush and everyone going down, you know, it's all the same thing. You know, I think you brought Coleman over here, and to me, like, I was starstruck, and it's like, but again, they all have that all of y'all have that humility of we're part of the community, and it's almost like I'm working for you guys. You know, so, and it's really, really cool, man. I think that's going to make this work, you know, and I'm really, really happy, you know, that we're you know, just from the beginning, man, it just,
I mean, it shows with ticket sales. Everybody's pumped. Everybody's excited. And I'm sure, Coach, that you have, you walk around town and you hear the buzz as well. I mean, you're there at the practice facilities, and you're doing the scrimmages, and you saw yourself I think, a few weeks back, y'all had that practice down at Cat Stadium, and it almost got rained out, and it didn't, and then just everybody showed up, you know. So, and there was a line of people wrapped around the stadium to get in to go and watch just practice, you know. And it's something new, but exciting. I think exciting is an understatement, but I mean, it is the buzz is real, you know. So
I think you guys said it best. It's you know, we're here to serve the community. This is the Valley's athletic program. This is the Valley's team. You know, we're here for you guys. We're here for us.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense, man. But before we get into the tailgating, I do want to kind of, you know, get a little insight, I guess, you know, of what's going on there in the football field. And I know you do the running backs, man. And you've seen a lot of big programs. You know, Rice, even though, you know, like you said it best, you know, it's the Ivy League of the South. You know, the talent that you see that you have now that you're working with, you know, and obviously you're a coach, so you want to say yes, but, you know, is there something that you see like, man, like we can do something with these guys, or do you see like, you know, it's going to take a few years, you know, to kind of get this going and running, you know, but what are you kind of seeing right now?
You know, I think we're making strides. You know, there's certain kids that are kind of separating themselves from the pack, but I think I got to give a big shout out to Coach Summer and Coach Vogel, our strength coaches. You know, these kids that showed up, they were kids, and now it's crazy. You know, we've been at this for maybe 3 months or so, and We've got kids that put on over 20 pounds of muscle already.
Oh, shit.
We've got kids that, have added like 5 inches to their vertical. Again, like those guys are some of the best in the business in terms of just creating the best football player athletes, and they were, Coach Summer was able to do amazing things at TCU and during his time there. And Coach Bush talks about it all the time in terms of he saw guys that came in as freshman kids and left as monsters, as NFL prospects. So, it's exciting. Like I said, we've just started, but you're already starting to see just in terms of the what they've been able to teach these kids and learn nutritionally, putting into their bodies and the transformation. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, that's been the most rewarding thing because they're all freshmen. Yep. Is just watching it grow, watching them have those like aha moments, like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it's instead of having a select population, they're all freshmen, and we all have to kind of act as the upperclassmen, the seniors, and show them how to be college athletes, and that's the fun part.
What's the tallest you have right now?
Ooh, I'd have to say
running back.
Roman Hernandez, he's probably 6'7".
No, as a running back?
Oh,
no, running back. Running back.
No. I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw him at the football.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Like,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about just in general on the team.
No. Running back wise.
The running back room, John Jackson's probably about 5'11", 6 foot.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I did see a couple at that one at Cat Stadium. I know they looked, fairly 5'9", 5'10", 5'8".
They're standing next to me, and I'm not that tall.
So I'm like, God damn, like, they're not giants, and I bring that up only because, we're realists, at my family, and I told my son, like, you may not be 6 feet, son. I'm 5'7", so
hey,
it's not gonna happen.
Next podcast, we do it at the field, and Fabian tries to tackle a running back with his boots on.
Maybe you could try to tackle Fabian.
There it is. With my boots on. With his boots on.
So I tell him that, and he went to the practice, man, and it was awesome for him to see, like, height really didn't matter, because the quarterbacks weren't even, 6'4" type of guys that I was expecting type of thing. But like you said it perfectly. And I bring that up only because I think that helps the Valley players at the high school level understand and have that hope. And I'm not saying, we're going to go to UTRGV, but hey, you have that hope that a Division I league is picking up a 5'8" guy, but you just got to make sure you have legs like trunks and you're working your butt off, to have that strength and power behind it. But it's possible, and I'm so happy that, we're somewhat involved with this because, I got an 11-year-old at home that kind of watches this stuff and it gives them that hope. Like, man, like, my dad's not that tall, but, hopefully I'll be a little taller and maybe have a little bigger legs.
No, the big thing is, and we've always emphasized it as a program and as a staff, we're going to start in our backyard first. We're going to make sure we blanket the Valley first before we move out to other parts of the state and other stuff like that. So we're going to know if there's Division I talent down here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, again, there's a lot of kids, and I've said it all the time. I mean, a lot of kids who do want to leave and have the ability and opportunity and physical aspect and the talent to leave, man. But a lot of times they just don't have that funding, and it's one of those things where, I think that gives those kids the opportunity to kind of shine, and they have the talent, man. But a lot of times they say, I got to stay home and help mom and dad, type of thing. And that's really, really cool. And that's the exciting part as well.
Yeah, and not to mention now that on that same note, after this year, every high school player is going to see that the whole Valley is the whole Rally the Valley thing is going to be so real, because they're going to be trying to figure out how to get into the stadium. I mean, everybody is. I've gotten countless phone calls saying, "Hey, man, there's no more seats available." Hey, you were told almost a year ago to put your deposit in.
$25,
$25 deposit, and now you're scrambling. Oh well. But on that same note, Derek, you want to touch up on a little bit on the whole deposit thing? I know that most people think there's no seats available. That's incorrect.
For football, we did sell out of our 6,000 deposits that we were holding for season tickets. So as of right now, we are sold out. We do have a wait list open. So in the spring, dates still TBD and to be announced as well. we'll go through our select a seat process. So that's when, we'll set our loyalty point rankings for our Vaqueros loyalty points, and from number 1 on down through the whole list, we'll have folks pick their seats, and there may be some attrition through that, right? Things happen, family situations happen. People may move from the time that they put down their deposit, and so we do think there's going to be some seats possibly open up, and then again we'll go through that wait list after the select a seat, and again based off of loyalty points, folks will have access.
What about those people that say, hey, you know what? I get it. I can't go to all 6 home games because I'm not a season ticket holder. I didn't put my $25 in, but I want to go to one game. Is there a number that you all have in mind as far as releasing single game tickets? Or
Yeah, that's still to be determined. That's going to fluctuate potentially week to week. We'll have potentially some standing room only tickets available the week of the game, and we may have some seats turned in from the visiting team because contractually and with the conference we have to allocate seats for the visiting team, but they may not use all their seats, so they turn those back into us, and then we're able to offer those to our fan base. So there's going to be
week of
exactly a week of. We'll announce that. We'll have our whole process in place, communicate it through all of our channels, email, social media, everything, website, everything. There's still some possibility.
What does it hold? What does the stadium hold?
It'll be up to about 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
So those other 6,000, obviously, between I think you have to hold some for like students, right?
Absolutely. We'll have about 25% of the stadium is actually going to be held for students.
Really?
So that's a pretty high amount. I don't think there's too many stadiums out there that are at 25% capacity just for students.
Wow.
So we're really proud about that. It's going to create an awesome atmosphere and great game day experience.
You're going to put them closer to the visiting side to heckle the visiting team?
Potentially. Yeah. We are. I know we released our seating chart and our season ticket pricing. Was that 2 weeks ago now? So that south bleacher and end zone bleacher, and then some of the seats in that southeast corner are going to be for the student section in the band. So it should create a bit of a home field advantage
cool,
there.
Man. And it's just cool to kind of see, like, again, 25%, that's a big deal. I'm an old guy, so I just want to watch football. I don't want to scream or anything. And to have 25% of the kids screaming, I'll be screaming. To have 25% of students be there, and if we're able to fill that up, that'd be freaking cool.
On that note, the 25%, Derek, I know that at some other universities, the students draw tickets early on during the week. Will it be the same? Hey, 25% means X amount of tickets. We got 2,500 tickets, or más o menos. Mm-hmm. If you're in that group, you get to draw a ticket. If you don't,
you look at the numbers. So that 25%, that comes out to about 2,500 to 3,000 seats, strictly for students, and we're at 34,000 students.
Right. So 10%.
That we're expecting the demand to be really high. We are working through that. What that's going to look like. There will be some of that claiming redemption element to it. We will be communicating all of this to our student body. A little bit later on we still got to flush some things out, but we're expecting that student section to be
34,000
to be full, to be rocking.
34,000 strong.
God damn.
It's going to be really awesome. Just all the new traditions that are going to come with it. From the marching band and the drill team, which when I left the office, I heard the band out there practicing on the practice field, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then just all the football traditions that you see on TV or when you go visit other universities. Like that's going to be here.
Yeah.
At UTRGV
In our backyard.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. I
College
drop off
football
my
is here.
kid and I drive down Sugar and I see the guys practicing in the morning. And it's like, that's freaking
Is
awesome.
that you who honks every time?
No, I actually have a siren. I have a siren in my truck, so I'll start
With the
putting
shirt
that
outside.
siren.
That's it. That's maybe.
My shirt. But
Hey,
but
Coach,
no,
I have a question for you, Coach. Game August 30th. Walking out of that tunnel and just seeing a packed stadium. I mean, you won't be able to see tailgates. You won't be able to see any of this. We'll get into the tailgates right now, but you'll be on the field pregame, and all of a sudden, it's almost game time. You're walking out. Take me through what you're thinking. You're from the Valley, so this is your backyard, and you're building something that has never been done. I mean, what goes through your mind?
A lot of emotions, like just pride being one of them. That's something just to be proud that I get to be a part of this, even if it's just a small part. It's just there's a lot of pride that's going into that. Excitement. I've been blessed to have some experiences in college football, and our games at Washington State would sell out, and we had a huge student section. That's just electrifying to be able to feel that. You feel it. People are so loud, and there's so many people that vibrate, like you feel it. And I think it's going to be very similar to what we're going to experience fall 2025. When we get started rocking and rolling here, I think you're going to be hearing people from the tailgate. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of people there and a lot of excitement. And I think even as coach, the players, everybody's going to feel all that. Like I said, it's the vibes. We're going to feel everything. And like I said, I guess the one word that just comes to mind is pride. Like I think I'll be very, very proud and excited to walk out on the field.
That's amazing.
that's 100%. And again, I think Derek said it. Tradition, man, and that's in our culture. We're very traditional people, as Hispanics and as the Valley is very traditional. They're very, it's the same thing every year type of thing. So like you said it best, man, the tradition, and this is a new tradition, and that's why Ben and I kind of wanted to have this, tailgating, and like I said, even though everybody knows what a tailgate is, this is definitely a new tradition. Because again, and at the high schools, they're starting these little things, and they're like, hey, come to our tailgate. But again, it's one person cooking and giving out food. I'm like, guys, that's not a tailgate. And I want to bring my own rig. But I'm like, okay, I don't think they get the idea of what this is, But again, like I said, and I'll go to these other colleges and stuff, and the tailgate, it's like freaking awesome, right? So that is a tradition that I think we definitely need to kind of instill and bring. And I know Ben and I have been doing these baseball things, and they're fun, they're great, but just kind of looking out at a sea of pits and smoke is what I'm visualizing in my head when you drive down to the stadium. So speaking of that, the first thing we'll start before we kind of start talking about our ideas of what a tailgate is, Derek, give us just a quick rundown of do's and don'ts, type of thing when it comes to tailgating. No, you can't take a semi. No, yes, you can take whatever. But what are some of the main do's and don'ts that you think people need to know? Like, hey, you can't do that, or please do this.
I think that if you look at the tailgate map, and I think we'll provide that here as well, because there's separate. You can do different things in different lots. Is that correct?
Yeah. Before I even dive into that, I do want to point out, you mentioned it, the baseball tailgate. So I hope you guys have some pride in the tailgate tradition, because, you guys are the ones that have started it.
Right.
With UTRGV Athletics. It's not us in the athletic department that's starting these traditions. It's folks like you guys. So hope you guys are, have some pride with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're planning out this season as well. So get ready.
And I brought up semi for a reason, so I want to know.
So the way we get away with stuff is we plan it out, and we call Derek that same day in the morning. Hey, Derek, you think it'll be okay if we do this? And Derek says, let me check on it, and I'll call you back.
It's already there.
So I call Fabian. Hey, Derek said yes.
long as you
No,
save them
no,
some
yeah.
carne asada, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
there you go.
It balances out.
For sure.
Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah, and we do have a couple different tailgate areas on stadium grounds, which is pretty unique. As you may know, if you've been out to Vacker Stadium or when it was HEB Park with the Toros, in that I guess it's northeast corner, they have the structures that are already out there. That's going to be our tailgate zone. That's really going to be our turnkey tailgating, and it should be a pretty cool place to be. So like I said, we have those pavilions that are already there. Smaller ones, some of them with electrical and water hookups, and then we're also going to be selling.
So the ones you're talking about is called Pavilion.
That's correct. Yeah.
Tailgate Zone Pavilion.
So that's that green area, right?
Yeah, that's the green area there, that tailgate zone.
And
And then-
the other one, the one you
Okay,
just
so-
spoke about, is Pavilion with utilities.
Correct.
So those are two different packages. So for those viewers that are, I think it's on the UTRGV.
Go UTRGV.
Go UTRGV.com, and so you get a better understanding. The Pavilion is one price, and Pavilion with utilities is another price. But this price is good for all 6 games.
Yeah, we're selling these on a season basis. So I mean, you already have your structure there. Maybe you pull in a wagon or something with your food or whatever it is. We'll also be offering some tailgate packages with food and beverage, so it can just be set up for you.
Right.
And so besides the pavilions, the structures that are already out there, we're also going to be offering these turnkey tent packages. So really, it's going to turn into a tent city.
Okay.
Again, it's turnkey, so folks don't have to bring anything. It's all set up for them. It'll be that same spot, that same tent for the whole season. Either a 10 by 20 or a 20 by 20 space. Come with tables, chairs, and then you can do a premium package, which could look like some TVs, grill, satellite, so you can watch all the other college football games, Southland Conference games that are happening that Saturday. Part of it was we knew that was going to be a prime area for tailgating, but the access is just really difficult because it's gated in.
And we're still talking about the tailgate zone.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. I guess just kind of explaining kind of the why behind
Yeah.
the turnkey option rather than having folks set up themselves. There's no way to drive a vehicle back there and
Right.
get a rig back there. So we just wanted to be convenient.
So in that
easy to
particular
use.
zone, just so like hopefully they understand. So in that particular zone, you are not taking anything but food.
A wagon, maybe.
I mean, yeah, well,
Yeah. If you can carry it in, pull it behind you.
you can
in
take
a
it into
wagon,
that
you
zone.
can take it
You
in.
just can't drive into that zone.
Yeah,
pretty
you
much.
can't drive in.
Good deal.
That's good information.
So it would be difficult to bring a lot of stuff. You definitely can.
Now that zone, those pavilions, if I have a family of 12, and I rent a pavilion out for the year, 12 people fit. I mean, or
absolutely. Yeah,
or is there something saying, hey, each spot is you can bring in 10 people?
It's going to be open
Okay.
to anybody and everybody. You don't need a ticket to get access into the tailgate zone or to go to any of the tailgates.
Because you can essentially watch the game from the tent
Mm-hmm.
on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, exactly. You do have to be a season ticket holder in order to purchase a tailgating package.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, you could keep the game on.
So we
if
can
you want,
access
but
the game and leave our kids out. Is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm
That's
saying.
what
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
You asked about if we can fit 12. You know we're Hispanic, right? Have you seen
Yeah,
how many people fit in a
You
van?
know, down here, 12 is a low number.
Yeah, no, we could see, folks putting on a tailgate party out there.
Yeah.
Maybe they have 4 season tickets themselves or 6 season tickets, but they have family, friends that don't have tickets that just want to come out and hang out, tailgate, and there's really no limit to how many folks you can.
So that is allowed.
Yeah.
Okay,
for
so
sure.
as long as the purchaser is a season ticket holder, they can bring their buddies and
Absolutely.
watch it
It's
outside.
like I said, it
Full college game day experience. That's what
Yeah.
you guys are promoting.
absolutely.
In the
Again,
zone.
there's no ticket that's required to get into the tailgate zone. Anybody could walk in.
Okay.
People who don't have a season ticket to the game, doesn't matter.
Now,
it's
you
open
said
access.
pull behind. And again, I'm saying this because I'm thinking it, and I know other people are too. If you have a golf cart,
Golf carts are not allowed.
okay, there you go. I just want to make sure.
They're not allowed in our current policy for baseball, so that'll also roll over to
Cool deal.
football and Backer Stadium.
I see that there is before we move away from the tailgate zone, there is a small amphitheater out there.
That's right. That's right.
Will Coach Regalado be taking his guitar out?
Yeah, he's going to headline every game, actually.
And pre and post game?
I have my headset on, so it's
Okay.
Maybe do a Garth Brooks thing just on the sideline. Just put
There it is.
a mic and we'll hear you singing while you're coaching.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few perks and some other wrinkles in that tailgate zone. It's not just going to be season ticket holders tailgating. Again, it's going to be open to anybody and everybody. So we see that amphitheater being a pretty valuable and big part of that experience.
Sure.
There's also going to be student tailgating out there. So as you can kind of see on that east edge there's that open field that's to the right of the amphitheater. That's going to be some potential student tailgating out there. And so we see a lot, the opportunity for students to kind of congregate with. in that
So is the
amphitheater.
actual amphitheater like going to be utilized for tailgating, or
Yeah, we'll have some programming every game out there.
okay?
Still working through exactly what that's going to look like. Still working through exactly what that student tailgating is going to look like. But yeah, there will be both of those going on.
Is it possible? I mean, again, just kind of shooting out there. Is it possible to have some live music out there?
And that could be a possibility for sure. But like I said, those are discussions we're working through, whether it's a DJ, live music, a screen with, our game being played, because there could be, who knows, a couple thousand people out there that don't have a ticket.
good
to
idea.
the game.
And just prior to the game itself, man, I think it'd be, again, it'd be cool to kind of have local guys go out there and put their bands up. And
We for sure will utilize that
Go at
and
it.
have programming every game. So it
cool.
should be pretty awesome.
And
Very cool.
let's move to that corporate now before we keep going.
Corporate tailgating area.
It's that gray area on top.
Yeah, so the corporate tailgate, that's going to be a really good opportunity for those businesses, those corporate partners of ours that are such big supporters. Set up activation tailgates, engage the fan base in the community. So we'll be sending some more information out to our corporate partners, what that's going to look like. But just kind of, more of that tailgating activation from our partners. So it's pretty cool.
What does that
Pretty
mean?
cool
Just
location.
like tailgating activation.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be somebody pulling a rig behind and cooking up some food.
Okay.
Handing it out to the fans, or it could be somebody with a big branded tent and just a bunch of branding and flyers and promotion.
Okay.
All that it's somewhat going to be up to the partner on how they want to utilize that space.
Okay.
So it would be an opportunity.
And the rest, the VIP parking and Vaqueros Athletic Fund stadium parking. I guess we can touch up on parking here shortly because you all do have some information on offsite parking, but the yellow zone, tailgate lot right by Raul Longoria Road, it's the grass area.
That's right.
So that's going to stay grass.
It's gonna stay grass. We'll see if the grass survives a whole football
Probably
season
not.
of tailgating out there. So it could be dirt by the time we get
We'll
into
call it the
November.
dirt area.
That's going to be another really cool area to experience on game day.
Now, is that going to be like sectioned off by the purchasing of spaces, or is it just going to be like sectioned off? I mean, like, is there going to be like actual section, or just going to be like on a game by game basis where they just put like a marker saying, hey, this is lot, 20, 25.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a reserved space for each game. So it's going to be sold on a season basis.
Correct.
So everything that you see here, the tailgate zone, VIP, stadium parking, and the tailgate lot, all those passes will be sold for the whole season.
Nice.
Not game by game. So, let's say you get a tailgate lot pass for the season. You get spot number 42. We will have that spot marked off and have a sign there.
Every
You'll
game.
have a pass that says spot 42, and you'll go to that same exact spot every single game. And it's going to be a 20 by 20 space. How you utilize that space is completely up to you. Of course, we have some rules and regulations somewhat, but if you want to pull a rig and set up a rig, and you can do that as long as your vehicle and the rig fit in that 20 by 20. If you want to pull in a vehicle and set up some tents, it's anything you want to do out there, it's your space to utilize.
And when it comes to like people going in, like how are they going to be allowed in, or like, I guess how are we gonna? Is it gonna be sectioned off, or say hey, you can't come in unless you have some type of pass?
Exactly.
Or is it just gonna be?
Yep. So the only vehicles allowed inside of that lot will be required to have a tailgate lot pass.
But somebody can park at the Dollar General down the street and walk to the tailgate, or walk to the other it's
exactly. Yep. It's
Okay,
all
so
open.
they can.
Anybody can come. You're free to invite anybody and everyone to your tailgate. And
Awesome.
we don't have any regulations on that at all. So, which is exactly why we think it could be pretty awesome on game day.
Oh yeah, there'll be more people at the tailgate than there will be in.
So for those people that did not put their $25 down, there's still a chance to go and party at the stadium, but these will move fast once they go on sale.
Yeah, so the tailgate packages, the parking passes, the tailgate passes, we'll go through all of that during select a seat. So again, based off of loyalty points,
Whatever's left.
So it'd just be first come first serve based off of loyalty points on who wants them, and so it's no really. We don't know how long they'll last in that process, but I wouldn't expect it to last very long. Again, I think people are excited.
Oh yeah.
For football, they're excited at the tailgate.
We're talking about all this fun, and coach is going to be inside the locker room. You'll be running around in circles at the stadium. Me and Fabian will take all the pictures for you guys and send them over to you.
You guys enjoy it. I'll live vicariously through you. All I know is when the bus is pulling up down Freddie Gonzalez, I'll make sure the windows are down.
I was about to say.
Smell the carne asada.
Not just the smell. I'll be throwing tacos in there.
I think you'll be smelling it in the stadium. It'll be a big cloud of just carne asada.
Oh yeah.
On top.
It's gonna be, very, reminiscent of a barbecue cook-off down here, man. I think that's what it's gonna be, and and that's one thing I've talked to Ben. Like, I think we can do something with it where it becomes very competitive, and I think that's what it needs to become. It needs to become competitive to allow and to encourage people to come out there and kind of make a lot of stuff so that people who aren't involved in it can go by and say, hey, can I try this? Yes, you can. But I think at the end of the day, that's the main thing of this, and that Ben and I kind of wanted to touch on is that, man. Like, I'm kind of preparing myself for it too. I know Ben has an amazing rig, with a trailer and all this stuff, and I tell him, like, man, I want to take my barbecue pit that I have at the house and kind of flash it up a little bit. It's not going to be like that, but I think just doing that little bit of extra. And I want to do it. My wife's like, well, it looks nice. Like, yeah, but it doesn't look as nice as Ben's. So I want it to look as nice as Ben's. So it's like, it's that competitive thing where it's like, hey, I need to make it look badass. So, people are looking at it. But I think that's going to be the mindset for a lot of people. Like, hey, let's get it fired up. Let's get it going. I see a lot of people putting vaquero stuff on it, and making it that. And I think that's where, I told Ben, for baseball, man, let's encourage people to take their rigs out, maybe even do a barbecue cook-off, kind of like what we did last time, but make it more, make it more. And I think with football, you don't have to. You're not going to have to do the whole cook-off or anything. I think people are going to want to go out there because they're going to want to see it, but just anybody viewing it or seeing this, man, I think that's the message we kind of want to send out is get your rigs ready. That's number one. Get your rigs ready. Get your barbecue pits ready, whether it's a small Weber, whether it's a huge trailer rig, whatever it is, get it ready so that you can come out there and kind of showcase what you can do. From shit, I can already see from pan de campo to carne asada to there's gonna be a lot of stuff out there, man. It's
on
exciting.
That note, Fabian, I'm gonna segue from what you just said, brought up right now to what's important, and I know that we have a few more minutes. So, Sammy, if we have any questions from the audience, just let us know, or if the audience has questions, let us know. But we'll continue with what Fabian was talking about right now. I think that it's important to know. A lot of us down here in the Valley don't know what it is to go to a big tailgate like that, and you all can help us out with your experiences as well. And prepare and take your drinks, take your stuff, because it may be that the tailgate provides stuff, or somebody else has extra stuff, but the best way to prepare everybody is take your own stuff. And I'll let you guys take over because you guys are the experts at this.
Well, I would preface this by saying, it's okay that not everybody, hasn't been to a big tailgate.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's fine because the Valley's unique in a really great way, and I think that uniqueness is gonna create a tailgate scene that could be unmatched, amongst our peers, and not having that experience or trying to compare to some other schools or bigger schools in the state can really, it's an opportunity to kind of create it your own, right?
Yeah.
Right. You mold it to what.
Exactly. But yeah, for sure. If you're gonna go to a tailgate, you should definitely be bringing your own cooler and bringing your own stuff instead of maybe mooching on others.
Well, I'll say what I did.
It's a good word.
There's no easy way to say this. I mean, but so I think we several years back. We're walking from the hotel to the tailgate area, and I think we were at a Dallas Cowboy game, right? I forget where we were going. Anyhow, so I get this old HEB toss-away bag, and I was told, you can't take beer into the parking lot. You can't take this. You can't. What do you mean? And she said, and where are you going to put that bag? I said, in the trash can afterwards. But, again, just the little tricks of, you can't walk in with an open container. I took Nestees, so it was okay, right?
You know what you took, the White Claws.
So again, I think it's important for the viewers to know, and those of you that watch this later on as well. I know that in baseball we had done a few dates where we were lucky enough to have 5x5 out there.
Yep.
With a few kegs of beer, and that was cool. But the beer kind of finished, and we were like, "What do we do now?" So, and it's okay. I think that the designated tailgate areas that the university puts for the community is they realize what's going on. We're taking a whole bunch of Nestea and Sprites. So, just better prepare the public for what's about to come real quick.
And we'll be releasing our tailgating policies for football, hopefully not too far down the road, but of course as we get closer to the season. But I would encourage folks that are curious to check out our current tailgate policy for baseball. That is going to be the basis of how we mold what we're doing for football. There's a few things to note, like glass containers aren't allowed. That's definitely going to translate to football, and no matter where you're at on stadium grounds. In terms of music, you try to be neighborly and keep the music for your tailgate, but of course, no profanity, obscene type language, because despite the fact it's a tailgate, it's still a family atmosphere. There could be kids out there throwing the football around, playing cornhole, whatever it is. There'll probably be a time where we ask folks to turn off the music as we get closer to game time and kickoff, just so it's not interfering with what we have going on with our run of show inside the stadium. Like, be responsible for your items. If you're going to go inside the stadium, or when you go inside the stadium, it's your responsibility to pack everything up.
Yeah.
If you leave something out, that's on you. I'd highly recommend putting everything away. If you leave a cooler full of beer on your tailgate when you go inside, there's maybe a good chance
for those of you that drink.
Yeah.
For those of you that drink.
Yeah, not that we're promoting that. And if you're going to have some canopies or tents, make sure they're staked down. You never know when that wind is going to gust up down here in the valley. So those are just a few things to keep in mind. And like I said, those are on our website, goutrgv.com right now for baseball. And we'll get those football-specific policies out here.
I know you had these programs like Washington and stuff. Like, is there anything you saw out there that kind of stood out to you when you were walking that parking lot, or if you ever saw the parking lot?
Yeah. So Washington State was a pretty unique place, man. That's a small town, very small town, but it's got a big university, and the people would start tailgating. They would tell us, we'd get an email, move your car by Thursday at 5 p.m. because the RVs are coming. And it would be a line of RVs that went from Pullman all the way to Moscow, Idaho, which is about 12 miles, and they'd just start piling in, and they'd start tailgating from Thursday to Saturday's game.
Oh, wow.
No, I mean, it was a pretty – that was probably some of the most fun game day atmospheres to be a part of. And then, being at Rice, playing some away games, we got to go play USC at the Coliseum, and seeing that experience. And then we got to play the University of Texas. And that's been awesome. And then the flip side of not having games this year, it's you miss game day, but then I got to go with my brother and my dad to a UT game and go as a fan and see all that and walk through the tailgate, see the game day atmosphere, game day, what goes on at halftime. And man, I'm just so excited for the Valley, and I think the Valley's gonna fully surprised. I think they know how to tailgate down here, man. I think
I think we know how to cook. We know. I can tell you that, man. There's a lot of great cooks down here. There's a lot of great. It's just knowing the I don't know. I don't even want to use the word etiquette because there is no etiquette to tailgating. But, knowing the like you said, it's not just about going out there and eating someone else's food and drinks and things of that sort. It's like coming out here and having fun with your own group. And then slowly you're going to incorporate everybody around you because you kind of become those neighbors. Like you said, be neighborly with them when you're listening to music and stuff. I think eventually you're going to kind of – that party's going to get bigger and bigger. I told Ben right away. Like,
responsibly,
hey,
of course.
Yeah. Right. We need to make sure we get our stuff together, and have everything together because I think our buddies are going to do it, and that atmosphere is just going to be that much more fun. When you have more people.
Even seeing some of these high school tailgates, we got to go to that playoff game last year in Brownsville, and that was sold out. That was standing room only. That was an amazing game day atmosphere for a high school game. And then, you talk about you got your Friday night lights on Friday. You got your Dallas Cowboys on. Everybody loves the Cowboys down here on Sunday. The pitadas.
Negative.
Some people do. Whatever. Okay. It's the common thing. But we're
Texans win a couple of games and
and these are different. Hey, but Saturday, we're the Vaqueros, we're the Saturday Cowboys. So it's just giving the community something to have every day. And I think, like I said, they're going to bring that same excitement. Like I said, I love speaking things into existence. I've gone a long way doing those types of things. Man, I think this is going to be one of those game day environments that's so unique that like college game day comes down here because they're going to hear, they're going to feel it, they're going to smell the carne asada from all the way down here. It's going to be special.
Like I'm excited because again, we're very cultural down here. If that's even a word. But I think that culture is going to really, I guess define what this tailgate is going to be. Because like I said, you're not going to have your traditional, burgers and hot dogs and fajitas. You're going to have, somebody's going to be cooking a cabrito there. Someone's going to make a hole and have something in the hole.
Wait, can't make holes. Can't make holes.
Well, that's not in the rules yet, Ben.
No, you'll
Well, don't say it out loud. Then. Let it happen.
I'm trying
Let it
to.
happen. Then
I'm trying to put it in his head so he
Depends
can
on
say
if I get a plate.
holes are allowed.
we're gonna get a mass email right after the hole.
But what I'm saying is that there's so many ways of cooking down here, and so many things that people can cook that, you're gonna see broils, you're gonna see, like you said, carne asada and things like that, and that's the excitement to see, like, man, this guy's cooking a whole head of whatever, and I think it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be unique, and I think people are gonna get involved, in one way, shape, or form. As long as they're able to get in, it's gonna be like you said, a very unique tailgating experience. And it's going to be our own tailgate experience. And, and again, just kind of throwing it out there. I hope baseball, kind of gives us that little bit of a preview, of how big we can make it. I'm trying to reach out to different guys too. And I think it's hard with baseball, especially unless it's on a Friday night or a Saturday, but those Thursday games and stuff like that, it's hard, to kind of go out there and enjoy the whole day. But I would say like a Saturday game, we definitely need to start, at noon, even though the game's at 6 or 7, whatever. Right. Start at noon, start at 1, and get that environment
last
going.
Year was last year's record numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We ended 39th in the country in baseball attendance out of over 300 schools.
Wow.
Division I. But yeah, for sure, if our fans, if the community has that tailgating itch and they can't wait for football, this spring with baseball is a perfect opportunity to get out there, start tailgating, Friday, Saturday, whenever. It's open, it's free.
Yeah.
Anybody can go out there and have a good time.
And for those that don't already follow Vaquero Up, if you follow Vaquero Up will be posting when we have our tailgates at the baseball games. And we'll announce it a few weeks in advance and make sure you guys know all the good stuff and maybe get a guy with a guitar out there. Do you know any guys with guitars?
You guys know a guy who plays guitar?
I know, Sam brought up a good point. That's something I think we can do, have a tailgate champion, go out there and start, again, I think that competition is going to bring people out there. I mean, a lot of people have pride in how they cook, even though some aren't very good, but still they have that pride, and if they go out there and we kind of say, hey, not only a champ as in how good the food tastes, but in a champ of how you kind of set up your thing. And it doesn't mean like, who has the biggest rig, but who has the I guess the most excitement, at their tailgate and I think there's a way where we can kind of incorporate some competition between the tailgate and create a trophy every home game, man.
Well, the that cook-off last year was a complete success.
That was awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And the pan de campo. And
I'd never had so much pan de campo in my life.
Oh, yeah?
I think I got to be a guest judge for that and a guest judge for the other. I don't know. It was
fajitas.
Great. It was great. I'm not complaining. It was awesome.
So we got to rerun that one again for sure. So, but, thanks a lot for everything, guys. I mean, you guys, I know it's a weeknight and you guys gotta go to bed already. So.
Oh, man, I'm having a great time. We're talking about.
Thank you so much. And again, I think the last thing I want to touch base on, and again, just to kind of close it here, and just because it is a unique thing, how the heck did you get into music? Like from coaching, or I don't know. Like, I mean, it seems like it's taken off a little bit, man. It's pretty cool.
Music's always been a part of my life. My dad didn't play any instruments, but he was always singing.
Gotcha.
And he kind of brushed up on with me and my brother. My brother is 4 years older than me. He started playing mariachi music, and I saw that, and I wanted to do the same thing. So I started playing guitar. I started playing guitar when I was in 6th grade. And kind of learned the basics through mariachi, and then started kind of finding different things that I really loved. My dad really liked oldies, like
country or
Hendrix. No, like Jimi Hendrix.
Oh shit! Okay.
Eric Clapton, Janis Joplin. So like we'd watch old Woodstock video,
Oh damn.
So Jimi Hendrix is the reason I wanted to play guitar. Like I love that. Like that was actually I would read up stories about him online, and he got his first guitar at a pawn shop. So my dad took me to a local pawn shop in Zapata. I got a little electric guitar. I learned Purple Haze. So I played mariachi music because that was a way for me to learn the basics and be a part of something in school. But I always had, I loved music. I didn't sing. I wasn't a singer, though, in high school. That was something that kind of came later, just by accident. But Always kind of played, at first it was like, man, can I learn this guitar solo from Metallica? And then I realized that, when I was in college, girls don't want to hear the guitar solo from Master of Puppets. They want to hear somebody with an acoustic guitar singing Justin Bieber or something
There you go.
that. So kind of found a happy medium and really found that country music fit my voice. So I, like I said, started playing I just play a lot of music. It wasn't until like 2022 that I wrote my first song. I'd always wanted to, it just never worked. It would be like writer's block, just sitting there like, I don't know. But finally wrote something. I wrote another couple, and then some people kind of told me they sounded really good. I should record them. So I found a recording studio in Corpus and released one song. Got a lot of positive feedback, so I went back and recorded a couple more. And I recently did one this summer. All those are on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that. And it's just different. It's hard. Like, I don't think I'd ever pursue that full time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love music. It's a really nice way to decompress at the end of the day and stuff like that. But like football, sport, that's my passion. I can do that every day, never get tired of it. But I think if you made music my job, I'd get tired of it. So it's just something I keep there. But I got a couple more songs that when I do get some time, I'll go get them recorded and stuff like that.
That's badass, man. I just want to touch up on it because, again, it's something unique. You don't know about the coaches. You don't know about these guys. You think, they're coaches. They're just hard-nosed, type of people. But, again, you hear them on a guitar and singing, and it's a different, and that's a big thing. Like I tell people, social media is not about going out there and putting your problems. It's about, putting some just, cool vibes, man. I think that's something you're doing very well. So, again, man, thanks for putting that music out there, dude.
I appreciate it.
Again, thank you guys so much for coming out here and
You have any questions for us? We've been asking questions after questions.
That's not how the podcast works, dude.
So I'm just like, fast forward, fall 2025, we finished the game, win, we're celebrating. You're all going to say with some food?
I got a follow-up question, but the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Absolutely.
You don't have to say the sides.
Absolutely.
It would be awesome to have the coaches come out and again, shit, we'll turn the pit on again.
Yeah,
if need be, bro.
Until Derek kicks us out of the parking lot.
If there's no time limit,
you all gotta go.
I think Derek's taking notes of shit that he needs to make rules.
Yeah, all right.
That was right.
This is what Ben wants to do.
But it's really cool, man.
I had one more question. One more. August 30th. After the dust settles.
God, you talk so nostalgic. Fucking badass.
Let me do it in a deeper voice.
There you
After
go.
the dust settles.
Very sweet.
The background music.
At what point do you open up a cerveza and say, we did it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wouldn't even know how to properly answer that one. I don't know if it's like immediately after, or it's like wait till you get home.
A few hours, just sit on your recliner, realize what the heck just happened.
The field house.
I mean,
because that's like you could imagine. I'd imagine that'd be a pretty long day.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And it's gonna be one well deserved for everybody. The complete staff is that's gonna be crazy. But I can imagine that night after everything, it's gonna be so rewarding to just say, hey, you know what, we got one in the books. Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Like shit, I think win or lose, man. It's just that
Or
history.
just win, coach.
Yeah, just win. Just win, baby. Just that victory in its own, that it got there. It happened, I think that's going to be just a victory for the Valley, and yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, again, it is one of those things where to say that, hey, I know that guy on the field, for me at least, to be able to say, I know Coach Bush, I know Chase, that's just awesome, because these big cities, UT or whatever, you can't, always say, oh, I know that coach. Like, it's different. I think the Valley's going to be different, even for football. It's going to be different, man.
I think you hit that on the head. It's just a bunch of every day is a milestone. That's how I tell kids. Is like every day is a new day in history, especially when we're talking about UTRGV football.
Yep.
The first practice, the first time we got a helmet, when we first got kids on campus.
Yep.
All all these small victories. We'll say, like you get small V's, Vaqueros Visa. You get all these small V's, but when you put the small V's, it makes big W's. So every day we're stacking small victories.
That's pretty cool.
Put that on the shirt.
Yeah, no shit.
For sure.
Start designing right now. But again, you guys have. Go ahead, Derek. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna, when the dust settles that evening, ultimately, I'm sure the football program would agree. We just want to make sure that the valley is proud.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it's all said and done, the product that, not just what we put on the field, but the product of the game day experience and the atmosphere. That they take pride in it, and it's what was expected, and above that, just like he was saying, a lot of what we're doing is the first time it's ever been done here, and that's not lost on us. This is the Valley's team, it's the Valley's program, department, university. It's going to be here. We're long gone. We're putting in a lot of hours, a lot of discussion and debating and thoughts that go into all this stuff that you're saying about season tickets and parking, because we really want to do it right, do the Valley right.
Set the tone. Right.
Exactly, and make it something that has some legs and longevity. And so I hope everything goes well, but again, just hope the Valley is proud at the end of the day.
It shows already, and hasn't even, it's still, a little bit less than a year away, and it shows already. And I think just the excitement, and Ben obviously has a store, and we have a few things, and you see the just what people want to buy, and to have the people want to buy not only, UTRGV stuff, but the 956 stuff. They're proud of it now. Not now, but maybe they're now they want to show that pride, And like he said, he kept that number because of the 956. And a lot of people are like that. And I think now they just want to show it everywhere else. They want to go to San Antonio and wear the 956 hat or wear something that says 956, the Valley Boy shirt. I think to me, I'm proud to wear that shit, because it's like, I am a Valley boy. I decided not to leave, type of thing, because I love this area. And, I think you've already made the Valley proud up to this point. It shows, and I think that day is, you guys have the perfect saying, win the day, and that is just awesome. To say that, it means that we win every day, and that as long as you have that win today, you're gonna win again tomorrow, and you have that mindset. And you guys have just done a hell of a job, to, like you said, from Dr. Bailey all the way down to whoever else. It's just amazing how aligned you guys are. And that's just the recipe for success, man. And it's exciting. So, again, appreciate you all. Thank you so much for coming out here. I know it's getting a little later, but like we say, we're going to continue saying it. The Vaquero Up, for those of y'all watching it the first time, Vaquero Up came from obviously a little spin from Cowboy Up, and all that means to me is you get your boots on, you do whatever the hell you need to do to make it happen. So, guys, Vaquero Up, and I think we end the V's up, guys.
He's up.
He's up.